next up, an old friend of mine who's going to tell us why, for some reason, we should get involved in the tech community. So give it up for Sadukie!
Alrighty. Cool. Mic'd up. That means that. Hello, CodeMash. How y'all doing? That's what I want to hear. So I am here to give you the top 5 reasons why you should get involved in your tech community. When I say your tech community, take that to be yours in person, yours in virtual, yours hybrid, wherever you may be. But why should you get involved in the tech community? Well, first things first, how many of you find yourself finding yourself in a problem at work and you're like, I have no idea. I have coworkers who can't help me. Stack Overflow keeps giving me wrong errors. I wish I had somebody who could help me. How many of you feeling helpless? Well, if you get involved in the tech community by going to user groups or going in forums and finding other people who are doing the things you're doing, you don't have to be helpless. We can help. Number 4 of why you should be in the tech community is because when you're at events, you're going to be networking with all sorts of people. There have been CodeMashes and other community events where you get product announcements. So what's coming up with the big new database, or what's coming up with this new developer tool. You want to be there. You want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. So number 4, why should you be in the tech community? Is because you want to be there. You want to be for those announcements. Number 3, for getting involved in the community, you might be looking to be satisfied. So helping people. Maybe you're one of those who you're like, you know what, I love talking about tech. I love talking about, what is it, like CSS and HTML and JavaScript. I love talking about Rust or Go or APIs. Or I love talking about databases like Mongo and Cosmos, things like that. You have something that you're probably excited about. And you know what? There's people out there who are struggling with those topics that you actually love talking about. So when you get involved in the community with stuff that you're enjoying and you can help other people solve their problems, you get that feeling of satisfaction. So that's number 3. Number 2, we all come from different walks of life. We all come from different perspectives. Some of us have been in the field since our teenage years with CS degrees and are still here and have the white hairs to prove it. Hi. Some of us, though, aren't necessarily here for lifers. Some of us have come from career changes. Some of us start young, some of us start old, all walks of life, all races, all creeds, all genders. But we don't have the same path. With these new perspectives, you can give us an idea of something we might not have seen. And so bring your perspectives here and blow us all away with your ideas. So we've got that. The number 1 reason why you should be involved in your tech community is so that your career can help stay alive. What does that mean, though? Well, it means that when you're involved in the community, you get a pulse on the technology that's being used. You find out that JavaScript isn't dying any day soon, despite what anybody has told you about it dying. It doesn't work like that. But you learn about what's the frameworks that people are using. Who's using Angular versus React versus some other framework that just came out 30 seconds ago. Who's using Java 8 versus Java 11 versus Java 19? Who's using what versions? You're learning the struggles. You're learning that maybe there are pain points that are going to be evolving in another language. You won't know this, though, if you stay in your cubicle and not talk to anybody. Get involved in your community. Get a pulse on the community and on the technology. Now, I have those top 5 reasons, but I can't just give you those and be like, OK, that's why you should. The next thing you're probably wondering is how, or better yet, what comes next? So meetup.com, if you aren't familiar with it, is a great way to find other people who are like-minded and talking about certain technologies or principles or practices or interests in general. The example I use here is user experience. And I explicitly used Akron, Ohio, because I know they have a user experience group that's active. I'm going to warn you, if you're using meetup.com, take a look at the group itself. Find out when are those meetings scheduled. Make sure that they're meetings that are happening recently and currently, because with COVID, it's hard to tell. Some have survived, some have not. But Meetup is usually where I tell people to start. Be it a local city, or if you want to find virtual, sometimes you can see those. The next thing I say is hit up a search engine. My screenshot shows Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, whatever your search engine choice may be. But do a search for whatever the interest is. So whatever, maybe a language. In my example, I use Python user groups near Cleveland, Ohio, because I know that ClePy exists. And so I can see, oh, they're on Meetup. Well, prior to COVID, they were on their own website. So now I have the search engine to remind me of their new location. So this is finding user groups. You could also, instead of use user groups, put conferences. I mean, you're here at a developer conference. There's so many other conferences for networking as well. Being involved in the community, maybe you want to speak. So if you're going to speak, consider Sessionize and discover events, which will help you to find other events out there. And then we have Give Camps, donating your time to nonprofits and helping them to get websites and mobile apps and things like that. Hackathons, various projects for schools, various language projects as well. But whatever it is, I encourage you to get involved in your tech community today, and don't throw away your shot. I will be here at CodeMash all this week, so if you have any questions about getting involved in your tech community, if you see me, go, hey, Sadukie, and I'll hook you up with your community. Thank you.